The bright lights of the Staples Center illuminated the ring as thousands of fans filled the arena with noise and anticipation. The atmosphere carried the energy that only boxing can create, a mixture of pride, tension, and excitement. Tonight's bout brought together two Mexican fighters, each stepping into the ring with something important to prove. On one side stood the young and rising star Canelo Álvarez, a fighter already gaining attention for his devastating body punches and growing reputation as one of boxing's brightest prospects. Across from him was the experienced veteran Alfonso Gomez, a fighter known for toughness, determination, and the heart of a warrior. As the fighters were introduced, the crowd erupted with cheers and applause. Mexican flags waved proudly in the stands as fans prepared to witness a battle fueled by national pride. The tale of the tape revealed interesting contrasts. Alvarez held a clear youth advantage, being nearly a decade younger, while Gomez had slightly more height and the experience of many hard battles inside the ring. Youth versus experience, a classic boxing storyline that often produces unforgettable drama. When Gomez stepped through the ropes, he carried the calm confidence of a man who had faced adversity before. He knew many believed this fight would simply be another step forward in the young career of Alvarez. But Gomez had different plans. He intended to test the young star and prove that heart and experience could not be underestimated. Then the crowd roared as Canelo Álvarez made his entrance. With his distinctive red hair and focused expression, he looked every bit the hungry young contender ready to seize his moment. The referee called both fighters to the center of the ring for final instructions, reminding them to obey the rules and protect themselves at all times. The tension built as they touched gloves. The bell was about to ring and the fight was ready to begin. The opening bell echoed through the arena, and immediately both fighters stepped forward cautiously, testing each other with jabs and subtle feints. Canelo Álvarez moved patiently, studying the rhythm of Alfonso Gomez, while Gomez circled carefully, using his experience to measure distance. For the first few seconds, it was a classic feeling-out process, each fighter searching for an early advantage. But then the calm was shattered. Canelo suddenly exploded forward with a sharp combination, and in an instant he landed a short, powerful left hook that caught Gomez clean. The punch landed with stunning precision, and the impact sent Gomez crashing down to the canvas. The crowd gasped before erupting into a thunderous roar. It had happened so quickly that even the commentators struggled to react. The veteran Gomez blinked in disbelief as he sat on the canvas. The knockdown was sudden and unexpected, a reminder of the explosive power the young Alvarez possessed. The referee began the count, his voice cutting through the noise of the arena. Gomez gathered himself, breathing deeply before pushing back to his feet. To his credit, Gomez did not panic. He nodded calmly, signaling that he was ready to continue. The fight resumed, and instead of retreating, Gomez began working his way back into the round. He increased his punch output, throwing jabs and combinations to regain rhythm. As the seconds ticked away, it became clear that Gomez was not going to be an easy opponent. Despite the early knockdown, he stayed composed, showing the experience that had carried him through so many battles. The crowd could sense that the fight still had plenty of drama left to unfold. The round ended with Canelo holding the early advantage, but Gomez had already begun proving that this fight would not be a simple showcase for the young star. After the explosive first round, the fight began to settle into a more tactical rhythm. Alfonso Gomez showed exactly why experience matters in the boxing ring. Instead of allowing the knockdown to define the fight, he returned to the center of the ring with renewed focus. His strategy became clear: stay active, keep the punches flowing, and make the younger fighter work. Gomez began pumping his jab more frequently, disrupting the timing of Canelo Álvarez. He mixed in body shots and occasional uppercuts, forcing Canelo to adjust. The veteran's punch output increased dramatically, and slowly he began to build momentum. The crowd could see that Gomez was fighting with confidence, refusing to be intimidated by the early knockdown. Canelo, meanwhile, appeared more patient than aggressive. He watched carefully, studying Gomez's rhythm and defensive habits. At times, he slipped punches and rolled his shoulders to avoid incoming shots, conserving energy while looking for opportunities to counter. The commentators began noting that Gomez might actually be winning moments within the rounds. His activity level was higher, and he seemed determined to push the pace of the fight. Each time he landed a clean jab or combination, the crowd responded with cheers, recognizing the veteran's courage. Still, there was an undeniable sense that Canelo was waiting. He was not rushing forward recklessly. Instead, he seemed to be gathering information, calculating the perfect moment to unleash his power again. As the middle rounds approached, the fight had become far more competitive than many expected. Gomez's determination kept him firmly in the contest, and the young Alvarez was being forced to think and adapt inside the ring. The tension inside the arena grew with every passing minute. Fans realized they were witnessing a fight that was evolving into a true battle, one that could shift dramatically with a single punch. As the fight moved deeper into the middle rounds, the atmosphere inside the Staples Center became increasingly intense. The crowd could sense that momentum was shifting back and forth between the fighters. Alfonso Gomez continued to push the pace, throwing combinations and keeping his hands busy. His strategy was clear: overwhelm the younger fighter with activity and force him into uncomfortable exchanges. For a moment, it appeared to be working. Gomez landed several solid shots, including uppercuts up the middle and body punches that echoed through the arena. Each successful combination drew cheers from the fans, many of whom admired the veteran's resilience after the early knockdown. Gomez looked energized, fighting with the determination of a man who believed he could pull off a major upset. But across the ring stood a fighter who had built his reputation on patience and precision. Canelo Álvarez remained composed, his expression focused and calm. Rather than matching Gomez's volume, he continued searching for the perfect openings. Occasionally, he fired sharp counter-punches, short hooks, and straight rights that reminded everyone of the power he carried in both hands. Slowly, the momentum began to tilt once again. Canelo's punches were fewer, but they were heavier and more precise. Each time he landed cleanly, Gomez felt the impact. The younger fighter began stepping forward more confidently, cutting off the ring and forcing the veteran to retreat. The energy inside the arena rose with every exchange. Fans could sense that something dramatic was building. Gomez was still fighting bravely, but Canelo's punches were beginning to land with increasing authority. The tension was thick. One mistake could change everything. And soon that moment would arrive.